Paul Radice is back. This man and his wife Judith, they hatch everything at Angel's Hatchery. They hatch everything that happens in the water. And I guess that's turtles, right? Paul, the difference between a turtle and a tortoise, the tortoise walks on land and the turtle lives in water. Is that right?
Basically, that's exactly correct.
Okay, so you have turtles, you breed them, and you sell them, I assume, to wholesalers who then sell them to pet stores. Is that right?
Primarily, yes, primarily.
Primarily.
We sell them to collectors also, but yeah, and
Okay.
zoos and
Zoo.
worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
all over the
zoo.
world.
That's, oh my God, is that your wife bringing an example?
I think, let's see,
Oh,
it's my son bringing an example.
oh, your son. Oh my God, it's a family business. Hey, son, how are you?
Good,
Young
how are you?
Radice.
Yeah.
Let's see this turtle. I hope it's not a snapping turtle or Paul's going to lose a finger.
It actually is a snapping turtle.
For real?
Well, kind
Wow. Show us.
of. Okay. Give me one
Since I already
second.
I fell in love with
Yes.
the albino tortoise recently. Let me see if a snapping turtle is
Okay,
going
I'm
to
gonna put
win
them up
my heart.
here. I just hit
What's
this.
his name?
This is Elizabeth.
To her, I beg your pardon.
Yeah,
Elizabeth doesn't really want to be on camera.
Okay, here we go. Give me a piece of cloth. Okay, she'll be coming up in a minute. She's a little finicky. The girls are a little more, they're smarter, but she'll be visiting us here in a moment. But yeah,
so I just want to explain to people who are only listening on one of the streaming podcast streaming platforms that all of that airtime was actually us trying to get Elizabeth the snapping turtle to hang out with her dad, her breeder, and be on camera, but was not interested. And
yeah, oh, somebody else just wanted to say hi. He insisted. That's Albert.
Oh, Albert, my son.
We had such a good time talking to you.
It's Albert the albino tortoise.
Of course, this is the opposite. This is a tortoise.
Correct. Okay. But it is Albert. And unlike
That's Albert, yeah, you remember
Albert's
Albert?
Happy to be on the air.
Yeah, and now Elizabeth is an albino, soft shell, long neck turtle from China. They're extremely rare.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do they do with them in China? I don't want to be rude, but do they eat them?
No, I think in China they eat almost everything.
Correct. That was my thought.
Can you see this albino turtle? I'm holding him with a rag because it's slippery. There you go.
Oh, look at her little face.
Yeah, that
oh my
snout.
God, what a funny little snout. She has like a little pig snout.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a little anteater snout. Oh my God.
Don't call it a pig snout, Terry.
I'm sorry, Elizabeth. I beg your pardon.
Don't call it a pig snout. I don't like pig snout.
She doesn't. She takes offense to the pig snout comment, but that's okay.
It's okay if she has tender feelings. Have you been breeding snapping turtles?
We've been breeding turtles ever since, again, I was a little boy. I had 60 turtles. But
you had 60, and your parents were like totally cool with that, or were they hidden under your bed?
I also like to play pool, so it kept me out of the pool hall.
Anyway, you were a child in the pool hall?
Pardon?
Were you a child in the pool hall when you had the 60 turtles?
No, I concentrated on the turtles. So anyway, I'm going to put Elizabeth back in her box where she belongs now.
Where she has
a very unusual face, and she has a very long neck, and she's a soft shell, and both the top and the bottom of her shell are very soft, hence the soft shell.
Does that make her vulnerable to predators?
I would think it would make her more vulnerable. I don't have a lot of experience with that, but
because you protect them, obviously, you breed them,
and then protect them. Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that she's soft shell and albino in nature would make her rare and probably somebody's lunch.
Yeah, they exist there in China, though. They're extremely rare, and in the pet industry, that animal is an awful lot of money, more than just a few $100s. This is another form of white turtle. They call this an ivory, and we just call her Senorita because that's what she prefers to be called. And we have
she has a green tinge. For the people that are listening to the podcast, you should catch this on YouTube. She's really quite amazing looking. She's got this pale green legs and snout, and there's a dusting of green on her kind of yellowish ivory colored shell. She's
Yes,
beautiful.
it's called an ivory. Now, the green that you see, Tracy, this is just temporary. It's algae that got into the cracks of the shell, and but that if you leave it on dry land for 2 days, it goes solid white. That's the top, and this might give you a better idea. That's the bottom. That's how
Wow.
the whole thing is a yellowish white animal, and this is an albino slider. They
Oh,
too.
sliders are more common.
Yeah, sliders are a big group of turtles, correct.
I see.
There's all types of sliders from all over the world. And but yes, you're right. Exactly. The whole group is common.
Dr. Doug and I have talked about them and how that was the original kind of turtle many of us had as children.
Yes, that's
A
mostly
little
what I had.
slider. Now, so you only specialize in the exotic, unusual ones.
Yes, we don't. We specialize in the more rare animals, the common ones people collect and sell to the industry. But since we are producing them, we're producing ones that you don't often see, including several albino forms, the albino sulcata, the tortoise, the albino sliders. And we've been doing that as a business also since the 70s, a long time. And then
Well,
as a
let me
boy,
let's say that I'm a turtle collector. Am I constantly looking on your website, Angel's Hatchery, or am I calling you or texting you and saying, you got anything new for me? Are you constantly trying to find new and more unusual variations for
yeah,
collectors?
we have people either email or they'll call and ask for any different type of tortoise or water turtle. We actually produce more tortoises than we do water turtles. They require more of a habitat to get them to produce. But
Really more of a habitat to have as a pet.
oh yes, very much so.
Describe the environment you'd need to have a proper environment for a water turtle, because you said if you left that shell on land for 2 days, it would go pure white, but then you'd have a dead water turtle.
No,
They
they
live
live
on
on the
land.
water. They live on land indefinitely. It's just
I
that
see.
they
Okay.
also can live underwater. They could go down underwater for 18 hours and just sit there dormant and then come
Wow.
back up, take a gulp of air. And anyway, they're very, very different creatures. Anyway, yeah. So as far as an environment, your question,
Yes.
any nice sized tub with some stone structure where the animal can get up out of the water and allow
Okay.
itself to dry off is
So it does need to dry off periodically.
yeah, it prefers to dry off periodically. Yes, that's why you see them on rocks and on driftwood and stuff out in nature. You'll see them sitting up.
So you're saying like a kiddie pool, the kind that people buy for their
Yeah,
dog
ideal.
to cool
Yeah,
off, but
that's
does it
ideal.
need a filter?
Oh yes, and it would need a filter. Kiddie pool would need a filter. Either that or you'd be making frequent water changes. They enjoy the water change, dumping water, adding water, just to keep the water clean and healthy.
But you'd have to test the water for all of its various pH and that sort of thing, and you'd have to put in
No, not for
what are the
turtles. No, not for turtles. For fish, of course. But
right.
yeah, no, turtles can live in almost any pH. And it's best to have the water kept clean because that prevents problems, sickness,
Sure.
disease, bacteria.
And what do
Yeah.
they eat?
We feed them koi pellets. They like just a very high quality koi food, which we feed all of our koi here too. But just a very high quality fish food is what they eat here. They grow fast, they do well, they stay very healthy. We never lose them. They're very hardy.
So that's what people need to do themselves, is buy a high
Yes,
quality pellet.
that's right. We feed the highest koi food in the world to all of our
What's the name
animals.
of it so everybody knows the
Oh
brand and we
yeah,
can
it's called hikari food. Hikari is the
Hikari.
name.
Okay.
Hikari, Hikari. It's been
And
in production over 200 years.
wow. It's a Japanese company?
Japanese company, yes. But they own an outlet in the United States, the main outlet. And we also sell that food. We're a distributor for Hikari.
Oh,
So
nice. So somebody
yeah,
gets their turtle from you, they can get the
we can
food
send them
ongoing
food.
from you.
And the same food they've been eating.
Nice, which is obviously really important for animals in captivity.
very
because
much.
you can't go out into nature and find the right insect. Is it made of ground
No.
up insects or plant material, or is it a mystery what's in it?
But no, it's not a mystery. It's made up of both proteins, krill, spirulina, uh,
Wow.
yeah, and white fish meal. It's made up of both proteins and vegetable matter. Extremely well balanced food, anyway, and it certainly works best for us.
So just to remind people, you can't just hope to catch some flies on the windowsill, or what else would people mistakenly think a turtle wanted to eat and then get them into nutritional deficit?
People, that's a great question, actually. People tend to think that you could just feed them lettuce, romaine lettuce, throw lettuce in the water, and yeah, they'll eat romaine lettuce, but there are no proteins in the lettuce, so they really require both. Turtles do now, not tortoises.
Okay.
Turtles require both a meat and a vegetable meal. Tortoises, on the other hand, they can live on hay. They can live on
No
grass.
kidding.
Oh, yeah. They have very low requirements as far as their digestive. They should not have protein, never any type of fish or meat whatsoever. And so turtles are more omnivorous. Tortoises, the land turtles, are more herbivores. That's exactly how they're described.
Well, when I think about romaine lettuce, romaine has, but at which you grow all kinds of fish and turtles and tortoises, and other people grow vegetables. And I've seen the romaine lettuce go from being a dark leafy green in the last 10, 20 years. It's become no better, if you will, than iceberg. It's
Yeah,
totally pale. It seems devoid of any kind of nutrients or anything
you're
would be
right.
a
You're
darker
absolutely right.
vegetable, just
You're
a fiber
absolutely
and
right.
water.
Correct. And the greener the better. So other
Yes.
things like broccoli, spinach, kale,
Neat.
and one of the best ones is collard greens.
Nice.
All turtles and tortoises, collard greens is like the number one vegetable in my mind. So we always have cases of collard greens here, and even koi will eat the collard greens. And
Really?
anyway, oh yeah,
Well, it just goes to show you that when people do animal husbandry correctly, it's neither simple nor cheap because when you have to get high quality ingredients, obviously the collard greens are human grade, and you have to get fresh ones, same that might be sold to, I don't know, a Southern style barbecue restaurant. Not many American
right.
restaurants serve collard greens, and you don't even see it much in the food
It's more
market.
of a southern, right? You're exactly
Very
correct.
southern, but it's so deeply full of vitamins, vitamin A and all those other leafy green vitamins. So let's not promote romaine. My husband eats it every day at lunch. I'm like, it's not really a vegetable. It's washed out of anything that makes it more like a food. So let's
Right,
not we shouldn't give it to, I don't think, to parrots and those kind of animals that like to nibble on lettuce type things. Collard
right.
greens is the best. Interesting. The ones that are
Yes,
the hardest for a human to chew raw,
right,
but it's good for them because that's real fiber and real vitamins. So, how
right.
long is the life of one of these turtles? They're all different, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, they vary. They're anywhere from about 40 years up to about 100 years. Yeah, they can live a long time.
Well, there was just an article that a Galapagos turtle who lived in, I want to say, the San Diego Zoo. She was well loved. Her name maybe was Grandma. I should have paid more attention, but I thought, oh, Paul probably knew that Galapagos tortoise because she was like 140, and the oldest lived one was presumably 199 years old and had lived in
Right.
a different zoo somewhere else in the world.
That's right. That was called Lonesome George. That's right.
See you. Of course you knew that. These are all your buddies. These are all
Yeah, oh yeah.
extended family for you. But you're
Yeah.
not allowed to breed Galapagos tortoises, correct?
You're allowed to breed them. They're Galapagos are one of the most difficult to reproduce. A lot of times the eggs will not be fertilized. However, in Miami's Metro Zoo, for the first time in over 50 years, they had some viable hatchlings from their Galapagos tortoises. And they were so excited. They put it all over the world. They spread the word. Anyway, so the Galapagos Island tortoise is, yeah, you could certainly produce them if you are able to. And that's very similar to the Aldabra tortoise, which is another gigantic tortoise from the Aldabra Islands. The difference is the Aldabra tortoises, they reproduce readily. You can get baby aldabras, but you cannot get, but baby galops are very hard to find.
I love that. Baby galop. See, now I know the insider phraseology. What is the
Oh,
most
yeah.
difficult turtle to breed or to keep? Is there one that's because it seems like collectors want the rarest of the rare, the hardest of the hardest to get? Would
The
that
one I
be
showed you here, it's one of the absolute rarest that I know of. That's the albino soft shell from China.
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth, that's right. And then
Now makes babies for you. How does she go about doing that? And how do you go about, I don't know, incubating them? Or does she do all the work? Or does the husband? How does it work?
the way it works is Elizabeth will climb up out of the water, and we have in her house, we have a little ramp that leads to a bucket of soil. She goes in the bucket, lays the eggs, covers them up, and never returns.
Wow.
So what we do is we take the eggs and we incubate them. We'll put them in an incubator and we incubate the eggs. And same thing for the sulcata tortoises and any type of turtle. We incubate all of it for safety reasons so that no predator could get in there and devour their nest, and also for humidity and temperature control. And like we were talking about last time, you could actually sway the sexual orientation, the
That's
sex of
right.
right, by doing it with temperature. That's what we do. We incubate everything. We don't leave anything in the ground. Yesterday, we pulled out a group of Herman eggs. Herman are European, they're extremely rare. They're European tortoises, and they stopped exporting what they call the Western Hermans. That is a bit of a fallacy between Eastern and Western Hermans. They're actually basically the same animal. But
Okay.
we do produce, we've been working with the Hermans for about 40 years, a long time. They're a smaller animal, but very beautiful. They have very low numbers of eggs, but they're very reliable and they hatch the quickest. It looks like a little bird egg, Tracy. And
Wow.
yeah, and so when they first hatch, they look like an olive. They look like a little tiny
My
black
goodness.
olive. Oh yeah, very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway,
You ever put a live stream or some sort of a webcam on the hatchlings?
we have videoed some hatchlings. Just see, they don't move around much. Once they pop their head out of the egg, they may sit like that for 24 hours. Then they pop
Pretty
one leg
boring.
out. Yeah, so we've never done it a lot.
Put people to sleep.
Yeah, you fall asleep. We've never done a long term, like you said.
So when Elizabeth gives you an egg, does she give you one egg or 100 eggs? What does she put in her bucket of soil?
Typically, about anywhere from 5 to 8 eggs. That's what that's her production number between
But
always
how,
between
how did they get fertilized? Where was the meat?
they're fertilized first. The male fertilizes the female, and then she lays fertile eggs. They're already fertilized, and
So
that's
do
an
you have
interesting.
many girls and one stud turtle?
We like to use four to two, 4 males to 2 females, because non-fertilization of the eggs is the main reason they don't hatch. So the more we can be assured that the female's eggs are fertile,
Right.
that's why we use more males to females. The same thing with the tortoises, by the way. But the tortoises have different numbers. The sulcata tortoise averages about 15 eggs. And out of the 15, sometimes we get 15 hatchlings, sometimes,
Wow.
yeah, sometimes 14, sometimes 15, very high hatching rate.
Because you're running a bordello, basically.
Exactly.
A turtle bordello.
Yes.
You've obviously figured out what it takes to bring more turtles into this world. I
Yeah,
think
it takes
it's
time.
fantastic what you've learned over the decades and what you and your wife have created and produced, because these animals would not be thriving in the wild. There's no way. We don't know that the Chinese eat them, even though they're so prestigious, because they just could, because as you said, they eat everything, because many things are purported to have medicinal properties, or
Right.
they eat things just because they're rare. That used to be true in Hong Kong when it was British owned. There would be these underground restaurants that would serve the rarest of rare things, including wildlife, including horrible live monkey things. I don't know, this is humans, right? Humans are trouble. But you are
Yeah.
keeping these wonderful turtles and tortoises going. and into the homes of people who really admire them and take good care of them and feed them their
Yeah, we
collard
certainly
greens
hope
as
so.
needed. Yeah.
Yeah, we quiz the buyers a lot to make sure they either
Oh,
know what they're doing, and so that they're not going to fail, and that they understand this is their responsibility. If it's all on them, but we want to make sure that they understand the basics, and that their housing is good, the foods are good, all of it. You know,
wow.
you brought up
That's,
another point. You brought
yeah.
up a good point, and that is in nature, in Lake Victoria, there is a whole genus of fish that have gone extinct because man introduced another food fish into the lake so that they can fish them out and eat them. That food fish outcompeted the Haplochromis genus in Lake Victoria and wiped out a dozen different forms of fish
Wow.
that only exist on fish farms today. We raise a couple of varieties of Lake Victorian fish that have not been in nature for 40 years. So in a way, and actually the United States government sent some scientists over to Lake Victoria to see if they wanted them to poison out the lake so that they can restart them with the native fish.
My.
But the Victorian government did not want that to happen.
That would, you could see having horrible unintended consequences. That
Yes.
sounds like a very short-sighted idea.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you have the long view and you've kept it going a long time. Thank you for all you do and all you do for the collectors to educate them and support them in what they're doing. I think it's great. Hooray for you and for Angel's Hatchery. I hope people that are curious to meet Elizabeth or any of her offspring, she is pretty rockin' amazing looking. Or, of course, my favorite, Albert the albino tortoise. But anyone who's interested and thinks this isn't the worst idea, because a dog and a cat don't fit in my life and I'm not a snake person, but these tortoises and turtles are pretty intriguing. So Angel's Hatchery is find them. Thank you.
I know you do a lot with dogs and cats. I read a series of children's books to my grandchildren last week, and they all had their pet dogs in the series. Wonderful series. The author was Giannini, Sharon Giannini.
Okay.
Wonderful series of books, children's books, but funny, humor, educational. They got the pet aspect.
I will seek her out and bring her on my show, Dog Talk. But we on Exotic Pets eschew anything that's traditional. We want the non-traditional.
We got that going. We have the non-traditional covered.
You have it completely covered. All the best to you and Judith, and thanks for all the good you do for the animals.
No, thank you.
Take care, Paul. Bye-bye.
Thank you.